I'm recording this.
Okay, I'm going to read from Isaiah. Isaiah 53. Who has believed our message? To whom has the Lord revealed his powerful arm? My servant grew up in the Lord's presence like a tender green shoot, like a root in dry ground. There was nothing beautiful or majestic about his appearance, nothing to attract us to him. He was despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, acquainted with deepest grief. We turned our backs on him and looked the other way. He was despised, and we did not care. Yet it was our weaknesses he carried, and it was our sorrows that weighed him down. And we thought his troubles were a punishment from God, a punishment for his own sins. But he was pierced for our rebellion, crushed for our sins. He was beaten so we could be whole. He was whipped so we could be healed. All of us, like sheep, have strayed away. We have left God's paths to follow our own. Yet the Lord laid on him the sins of us all. He was oppressed and treated harshly, and yet we never said a word. He was like a lamb in the slaughter, and as a sheep is silent before the shears, he did not even open his mouth. Unjustly condemned, he was led away, and no one cared that he died without descendants, that his life was cut short in midstream, but it was struck down for the rebellion of my people, for his people. He had done no wrong, and he had never deceived anyone. But he was buried like a criminal, and he was put in a rich man's grave. But it was the Lord's good plan to crush him and cause him grief. Yet when his life is made an offering for sin, he will have many descendants. He will enjoy a long life, and the Lord's good plan will prosper in his hands. When he sees all that is accomplished by his anguish, he will be satisfied. And because of his experience, my righteous servant will make it possible for many to be counted righteous. For he will bear all their sins, and he will give them the honors of a victorious soldier. Because he exposed himself to death, he was counted among the rebels, and he bore the sins of many and interceded for rebels. Wow.
When was that written? Does anyone know when Isaiah was written?
In the Old Testament?
It had to be at least 1,000 years before Christ.
And all of those things that
came true.
said in the...
That was the prophecy.
And how could the Jews not have recognized when he came? So many things in there. Mm-hmm. Is it like when you're reading it, it's like so
I know.
clear.
I know.
You think it was written after?
I know, because it's exactly what happened. They didn't talk about there how they cast lots for his clothes, but that's later in it. Yeah.
There's even in other areas of scripture.
Yes.
That's why we did 2 yesterday. Just even that he was born in Bethlehem.
And they talk about him on the back of a donkey in the Old Testament.
And silent before his shears.
Yes.
I mean, so many. It's like over 300. So the chances of that happening is just literally impossible.
It's absolutely true.
So did you guys, were you guys listening yesterday when they were reading that? When they were reading the... I know.
Because if you did not, I do have it on here, and we can hook it up to some speakers. Yeah. What, honey?
They were reading that yesterday at Terry's house.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Bring my clothes, Mommy.
Oh, you want to get dressed? Okay.